Good evening. My name is Bianca, and I'm making another episode. And this one is titled The Gamble Nipper YMCA's Prostitution Ties to the Anna Louise Inn. So they're both nonprofit organizations, right? That claim that they help people. Um, so I want to go back to the YMCA in 2021 to 2022. Like I mentioned before, me and my 9-year old daughter, we were sex trafficked out of the Gamble Nippert YMCA. Um, I believe sometime early 2022, I had uh, started my membership October of 2021, and 2 to 3 months later, um, from looking back at things, we were already being sex trafficked, already being videotaped. And the members of the Gamble Nippert YMCA, they commit several crimes. So it's hard to just pinpoint sex trafficking. It's hard to just pinpoint illegal surveillance. These people do multi-level schemes, financial schemes, check schemes, prostitution schemes, online black market, impersonating people schemes, identity fraud, all sorts of different frauds going on. And I am not sure how these people stole my dead relatives' money. They had to do some extensive fraudulent paperwork. Um, Zach, Glenda, Harris, Bridget Behrman, Tyler Cook, all these people, their black lifeguard at the time, Orlando, so a couple of their gym members as well. They have this thing and they're going on where you think you're working out around gym members, but you're really working out around rapists and gang members. But anywho, at the Gamble Nippert YMCA, um, they must have done some type of research that I had money left to me that I didn't know about. I don't talk to my family very often, and no contact, vice versa. So, the money was most likely sitting in Hamilton County's uh, court system, but I don't understand how they even knew about it from these being strangers that just work at a gym. So, these employees at the Gamble Nippert YMCA, they put cameras in my home without my knowledge, and they start studying my home, and they went into court like they knew me. So whatever they were stalking on surveillance, they went into courtrooms and they start talking to people as if me and them had a conversation about whatever they were surveillancing on camera. Okay. So then they used their doctor connections, their psychiatrists, most likely at UC Hospital, Bridget and Zach and a couple of other people, and also AFTAB Peruval. They have strong, connections and affiliations in the UC campus. So, UC campus, UC hospital, people willing to commit fraud for them. So these people have said that I have mental illnesses that I've never been evaluated for. All these things they went through to steal this money from me. People who don't even know me decided that I wasn't supposed to have my money. So Glenda Harris hired Zachary to set me and my daughter up for prostitution against our will and without our knowledge or any information or any clue that he was going to do so. And so they did this in order to murder me and my daughter off as quick as possible. So they're going around lying to people to get them to join whatever they've done. Okay. So how that ties into the Anna Louise is that this is the third property building that they've paid the management, they've paid the landlord. This is the same MO that these cartels run by. okay, where they start paying landlords and property owners, where they start bribing neighbors and property owners to lie on you. Money talks, in ways that it should not. But unfortunately, this is the real world here. And this is exactly what's going on at the Anna Louise Inn right here in Cincinnati, in Ohio, with their ties to the Gamble Nippert YMCA. So even if it's not directly, it's someone they have as a middleman, liaison, that they communicate through the middleman from the Gamble Nippert YMCA through the middleman to the participants at the Anna Louise Inn. And so what are they participating in? They're participating in some type of group chat. So there's some type of illegal group chat going on to blackmail me, to silence me about the pedophile ring that exists at the Gamble Nippert YMCA. So you have a multitude of teachers and daycare providers that are smiling in your face at the Gamble Nippert YMCA while they're conducting rape and sexual assault on very small children, while doing it with a smile, though, at the Gamble Nippert YMCA. And they think that they can intimidate someone to be quiet about what they did to my daughter. A lifeguard named Zachary, he found my home location. I did not give him my location. I never gave him my phone number, never gave him an email. I never even gave him my name. Okay? But this character made his way into my home, just like Zach made his way into Anna Louise, okay, with his bribery. Okay? And so he had my daughter raped by several men for payments. Okay? And so now I don't know where my daughter is. And Zach and Glenda Harris, Marilyn Horning, Bridget Behrman Werner, Tyler Cook, Orlando, and all of these weird characters think that they're going to silence me about what happened to my daughter through intimidation and whatnot. And that's just not the case here, because I'm going to fight for my daughter to the bitter end. Not only am I going to fight for my daughter, I am going to fight for other children as well, because I don't like to see children abused, and I don't like people having access to children in such trusting positions such as those, and perpetrating such a fraud. So I definitely want to inform the public. And if you notice things like this going on in your property or school or your children's clubs, daycare camps, it can happen anywhere. It's not just at the YMCA. This can happen anywhere where there are social settings where people meet at, and most likely frequently. I mean, it can happen anywhere, at a mall, but when you're talking about human sex trafficking and the black market business setup, you're most likely going to find them in places where there are niches of communities of people, such as gyms, such as the YMCA, and a lot of other nonprofit organizations, schools, libraries, and whatnot. So that pretty much concludes this episode. I will be making more. I hope I said something that was useful to you, and I thank you for your time. Thank you, and God bless.